Okay, Wayne Defrancesco here again, and the other day Peter Kostis did a side-by-side analysis of Tom Brady and Tony Romo, and I got a couple of comments on that, so let's listen to what Kostis had to say yesterday.
Let's put the Konica Minolta BizHub Swing Vision camera on two of the better golfing quarterbacks in the NFL. From the AFC New England Patriots, Tom Brady on the left. And from the NFC Dallas Cowboys, Tony Romo on the right. Now both of these guys are very good and accomplished golfers. But they play the game differently, and it's because of the club face position they have at the top of their backswing. With Tom Brady, he rotates the club into an open position at the top of the backswing. But as you watch Tony Romo take the club back, he gets a lot more body rotation, and the club gets a little bit more inside and around going back. The net result of that, as he gets to the top of the backswing, he has a closed position of the club face. Now, in order to get the club squarely on the golf ball, Tom Brady has to keep his legs very, very quiet. Quiet body rotation so that he can get a lot of hand and arm rotation through the hitting area. That's how he gets the club face squarely on the ball. But with Tony Romo, he must get a lot of body rotation. The body rotation keeps the shut club face square through the hitting area. So by releasing the lower body, Tony Romo gets a shut club face square, and by releasing the hands and arms, Tom Brady gets an open club face square. Two different ways to play, but they both play very, very nicely.
And they both are maniacal.
All right. So let's check out these two swings. So we'll try to get side by side here. So we'll put Romo by himself, and then here's Brady by himself. Now, first thing we got to notice here, and this is key when you're comparing swings, is where are these guys aiming? Well, the camera's situated perfectly for Brady here. So he's trying to hit it probably, over here just left of the bunker. But look at the situation of Romo's feet. He's hitting it over here off the screen somewhere. Now, if you're going to try to compare these two swings, you're going to have a hard time, especially if you're going to start talking about lower body movement. When you aim way to the right, your lower body is already open to the camera angle, so it already looks like his right hip is removed from the line. It looks like he's turned his hips already. Well, he hadn't even started to swing yet. So it's going to be hard to compare because of that. So that's instantly something that should have been recognized when they were doing this analysis. It's just one of those things that gets thrown by the wayside. The other thing, if you're going to talk about club face positions, why not take a picture of the grip of each guy? If they're the same, then we can compare equally. But what if Romo's got a real strong grip and Brady's weak, or vice versa? So anyway, it would have been nice to see what kind of a grip they were using. Now, let's put it into motion here, and we'll find that when Romo takes it back, he doesn't really cock the club very much, and his left wrist gets really flat. Now, as he goes back, you'll notice the lowering of the head, but obviously that's very flat wrist position. Now, Brady gets the club back, and look what he's doing with his body. Look where his head is. So you got two major factors here in Brady's swing. One is that he's got a huge lift from probably just because he bends so much at address, but he lifts it up. And check the wrist angle out here. It's in a quite cupped position. If you flatten Brady's wrist like Romo's, his club face would probably look very similar. Now the camera over here on Romo has moved around a little bit, so this line isn't going to really mean much. But when we watch the forward swing, the thing about Romo's swing that distinguishes itself and really tells me that he's going to be the better player, the better ball striker, is look how he's lowered his head. And if you watch any of the other videos I've done, you'll see that just about every good player does that. And what that's allowed him to do is to keep his hips way deeper and rotate through the ball much, much more effectively. So you see the hands follow the body much more because he's able to open up his trunk. If you watch Brady from the position where he's stood up to, he lowers fractionally and then begins to come back up again. And as he does that, his hips go up underneath him. And when you stand up that much, there's no way you're going to be able to rotate the hips back. And they end up where they started off rotating nicely, they get quiet at the end and he flips his hands over. So the combination of the cupped wrist and the standing up leads him into a faulty release, which is going to make it difficult for him to be consistent with his ball striking. Now, the thing that Kostis was talking about the most was that it's the lower body rotation that is one of the big differences here. So what I want you to look at is, if you look at Brady's knees, when you look at when the left knee disappears, the left arm is just below parallel to the ground. If we take Romo to the same position and we consider where the foot line is, my guess is that his knee line is just about exactly the same as Brady's. So the initial rotation is about even, at least as far as I can see, and then it's all about release into the ball going through it. So my point here is that, again, when you listen to the analysis on television, it's just not well thought out, and I think the people who are watching deserve better. So that's it for this week, and we'll see you next week.